girls, children of all ages. Welcome to Robert Sports Show. I'm your host, Robert. Alright, WWE SummerSlam review. Last night on WWE Network, over enjoying it with the Pulse family, some BWJ cooking. It's typical WWE pay-per-view. WWE, one little thing you need to do. Do me a favor. Next time you're going to book a show, I want you to watch NXT TakeOver. Any of them. Just pick one. They're always 3 hours. You have four to six matches, typically 5 right now. They're all good, and there's no garbage involved. And then watch your show, the WWE pay-per-view, and compare the difference. Yes, the show is only 3.5 hours long. We had a 2-hour pre-show with 3 matches. We had 9 matches in 3.5 hours. NXT had 5 matches in 3 hours. So we're going to run down this card. Some random shit happened. First match on the pre-show, we had a Cruiserweight title line. We had champion Drew Gulak versus Oney Lorcan. Good match. Decent match. 3-star match. Drew Gulak getting the pinfall victory. And then we had Apollo Crews versus Buddy Murphy. I was kind of looking forward to this. I thought this was going to be good. But Buddy Murphy, we know what he was about with Blake and Murphy in NXT. He wasn't doing nothing. Lost a bunch of weight. Got under 205. Went on a 205 Live as a Cruiserweight. Became Cruiserweight champion. And just shot his stock there. Well, during the match, it kind of ended in a DQ. And Rowan came out and attacked the fuck out of Murphy. Because Murphy said it was Rowan who ran over Roman Reigns. Because when the scaffolding stuff fell on Roman Reigns, Buddy Murphy was back there and he said he saw Rowan. I don't think it was Rowan. I don't think we know who it was yet. I don't think WWE knows who it was yet. I think they're just doing this stuff and then they'll figure out who did it later. It's not like back in the day where you knew the end first, then you worked backwards. But so we had Rowan take out Murphy. Obviously the match ended. At that point, it was about 2 stars. I think Apollo Crews is one of the most talented guys on the roster. I think he's top 10. Buddy Murphy is right there with him. Next, we had the Elias concert segment. Shed a little tear at this point. Elias came out, did his little concert thing. All of a sudden, you hear, "You think you know me?" We're all like, What the fuck's happening right now? The Rated R Superstar Edge comes out. Long hair. Look like he could still go. We're all like, what the fuck? Like I've said here before, recently, in fact, I think on the preview that I talked about how sad it is. I can't watch Edge and Christian show on the network because of the way their careers ended and how sad it was. But here comes Edge with long hair. It's like, oh, okay, what are you doing, Edge? He comes out. He fucking speared Elias. We're all like, what's happening right now? We're all just like, looking at each other, looking at the TV going, Edge just speared Elias. Why does Edge make contact? He's not able to, what? Don't know what that means. Don't know if that was just a pop for the Toronto crowd because they're in Canada and he's from Canada. Because, he was a kid. He was at WrestleMania. One of the earlier WrestleManias that was in Toronto. He wrestled there at 18. Was this just because of that? We don't have any answers. We got questions galore. Then we had an impromptu women's tag team title match. We had champions Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross going against the Iconics. You know why? Because they're iconic. Alexa Bliss, Nikki Cross getting the victory here. I ended up giving it 2-star. Nothing really spectacular. Alright, we start the card. First match on the card. Raw Women's Title Submission Match. Champion Becky Lynch versus Natalya. Oh fuck. This is first match on the card. Nothing cool's happening. Ronda Rousey's not coming out. There's no Toronto Screwjob. No, we had 12 minutes of submission holds. Yes. 12 minutes of fucking submission holds. Natalya used the disarmer. Becky Lynch used the sharpshooter. Yeah, that's it. Becky ended up making a tally tap 12 minutes later. It's like, that was so underwhelming what it could have been. I ended up giving it 2.5. Next, we had... Boy, you're next. Yeah, we had Goldberg versus Dolph Ziggler. We were taking bets over-under if it was going to be over or under 90 seconds. Most people said under. I said over. It ended up being official 1 minute and 50 seconds because they walked around the ring for like a minute. Had a couple super kicks by Dolph. Had a spear, a jackhammer. 1, 2, 3. Goldberg won. Surprise, surprise. I gave it like a 1/4 star. It was a match. Maybe it was 0 star. I don't know. I rate everything between 0 and 5. Maybe I'll go back and change it to 0. I gave all the 24/7 stuff a 1/4 star. So next up, we had the United States title on the line. We had champion the phenomenal AJ Styles with the OCs with him, Blue Gallows and Carl Anderson, versus Ricochet. Same old, same old. You had AJ and Ricochet doing their thing. Ricochet came out dressed as a gamer's chair. This blue and black. I shared it on Twitter. The picture I saw. But yeah, he looked pretty sick. I thought it was a cool look for him. But yeah. I wasn't really into this match that much. It was a good AJ match. But I mean, I gave it 3.5. You had the club getting involved a lot. You had kind of Ricochet facing and having to take out both of them along with AJ. So AJ getting the victory, training his title here. Next up, we had the SmackDown Women's title on the line. We had champion Bayley versus Ember Moon. Another just underwhelming match. I was hoping more of it. It was like 10 minutes long. Bayley ended up getting the victory. I gave it ended up getting 2 3/4. Next up, we had the Shane McMahon versus Kevin Owens. If Kevin Owens lost, he had to leave WWE. We had Shane going out on Twitter and saying, if I'm going to beat you, you're going to lose this match. You can go be elite, well, at least until we buy them. It's like, oh my God. And it feels like it was taken down by Shane, but somebody screenshotted it and reposted it. That's the thing about social media. You put shit out there, somebody is going to screenshot or save it, and it's going to be there forever. So then Shane came out with saying how he's best in the world, and blah, blah, blah. And this match needed a special enforcer. Like, fuck. So Elias came out, dressed in a referee shirt. So it ended up kind of being almost a 2-on-1. Every time Kevin wanted to do something to Shane, Elias got in the middle of it. It's like, fuck me, people. This is stupid. Well, it lasted for 9 minutes, so it wasn't stupid for long. Kevin ended up doing kind of off the top rope, ended up knocking out not only Elias, but the actual referee. He took the chair and just annihilated Elias with it. One of the funniest parts I've ever seen. He brought the chair in the ring, went to hit Shane. The referee stopped him. Hands the chair to the referee. The referee turns his back to put the chair out. Kevin, you thought he was a field goal kicker. He kicked a 50-yard field goal right in Shane's cojones. Shane, obviously sold the hell out of this because Shane jumped up, so it looked like he literally kicked him off the fucking ground. 1, 2, 3. Kevin Owens retained. Kevin Owens won the match. He doesn't have to leave WWE. So what does that do? Where does that put us? Shane coming out on Monday or Tuesday and saying he's the best in the world. And now what? Do we get a Kevin Owens versus the WWE champion? Do we get... what do we get from this? So, yeah. Whatever. It is what it is. We'll see what happens on Monday night, on Tuesday night with Kevin Owens. Hopefully Shane's off TV for a while. Next up, we had the dream match, I guess people have been calling it. Charlotte Flair versus Trish Stratus. Here's the thing about this match. Trish is long past her prime. Trish has been out of the ring way too long. Now, when Impact Wrestling did their version of this, Gail Kim versus Tessa Blanchard, Gail is more recent of a wrestler, so she was able to really hang. This match was all Charlotte. Trish hung with Charlotte. Charlotte made Trish look fucking good. Might have been one of Trish's best matches. She'd already said going in, win or lose, this is her last match. She went to hit the Satisfaction, and you could see the work that Charlotte put into making that move look halfway decent. Charlotte ended up getting the victory. Her figure 8, Trish tapped. 3.5 star. One of the longest matches on the card. One of the best matches on the card. 16 minutes. So yeah, I mean, it was overall a great match. Next up, we had the WWE title line. We had Kofi Kingston defend his title versus Randy Orton. Not what I expected at all. Kofi, the crowd wasn't into it either. Kofi stinks, Randy sucks is what the crowd was chanting in the first part of the match. We're like, fuck. I don't know the official, if it was double count out, if it was DQ, exactly what the end was. But they're on the outside fighting right in front of Kofi's family. Kofi's kid is, Daddy, Daddy! And Randy went to make a move or said something, and freaking Kofi just decks him and the bell rings. It's like, what the fuck just happened? The only comical part of this, you know how Kofi likes to fling out pancakes? He was on the top rope, he flung out a pancake. Some lady is looking down at her phone, and a pancake hit her like right here on the side of the head. And she's like, what just happened? And everybody's laughing their ass off. That was pretty comical. And as for the match, it was like, I give it 2 3/4. It's like, so now we've advertised Night of Champions a month away. We're going to keep this feud going for another month. Why? It be what it be. We'll see what happens on SmackDown. Hopefully Kevin will be in the middle of this and they'll do a 3-way. Next up, we have the debut of The Fiend. The Fiend versus Finn Balor. Yeah, I'm good with The Fiend's entrance. They need to change the song a little bit, but it's kind of the remix of the old Bray Wyatt song. And he comes out holding the lantern. The lantern legit looks like his face. And the mouth is the lantern part. It's like as creepy as, holy fuck, what? And the light is really dim, so all you see is that you kind of see the mask a little bit in the background. It's like, okay, this is creepy. If you're a 7-year-old kid, this is scaring the shit out of you. Any little kids that watch SummerSlam had nightmares. But, so it was very interesting. But the match was just, it was more of a squash match. It's like, okay, we get the Fiend. Balor had a couple moves, but the match lasted 3 minutes. Obviously, the Fiend got the victory. At the end of it, it kind of had this kind of eerie kind of music and the lights and the face and the mask and everything. And it's just kind of, weird, eerie music, and they showed the mask, it was completely black, the lights come on, the Fiend's gone. And Balor's just laying in the ring like, what? There was one move that, if you don't know what you're doing, if the average person tried this move, you would paralyze somebody. He took his head like this, and just kind of like, act like he was going to literally rip his head off and break his neck. I'm like, fuck, if you do that too hard, or wrong, you're going to kill somebody. It's like a real life death match. But it's like, holy shit. But yeah, I mean, it was kind of neat to see the Fiend and what they're going to do with this. We knew it was going to be a squash. That was your sub-main. Your main event, Universal title line, champion Brock Lesnar versus Seth freaking Rollins. The Beast Slayer from WrestleMania that's got away from that. We had 14 minutes of, I don't know what the fuck you want to call this. Seth comes out, just taped up. You could see that he was like, he was selling. And he had a few moves, and Brock became Brock. And then at one point, Brock picks Seth up by the bandages around him and just starts swinging him around. Like, what the fuck? It's like, and then Seth had his little face running toward the end, got a couple curb stomps in. It's like, no, they're not. And yes, they did. Your new Universal Champion, Seth freaking Rollins. So let me understand this correctly. In 4 months, he beat Brock Lesnar twice. WrestleMania 35, SummerSlam. But he lost a Money to Bank cash-in to Brock Lesnar at Extreme Rules. He got annihilated by Brock Lesnar on Raw. We had your Money in the Bank winner winning in May, cashing in June, and losing in August. Yeah, that's WWE booking 2019. So we leave the show happy. Seth slayed the beast once again. Now what? Who faces Rollins now? What does Lesnar do? Is that why we had the DQ thing with Kofi and Randy? Does Brock get involved in that? Is Brock going to be on SmackDown? Is Brock gone? Is Brock going to be still harassing Seth Rollins? Are we pushing Brock to the back burner? What's next for Brock Lesnar? Who the fuck knows? It is what it is at this point, but anyway, we got to leave SummerSlam happy because Seth Rollins is your Universal Champion. Once again, a 2-time Universal Champion. So stay tuned around our sports show for whatever else comes up when it comes in the world of professional wrestling. That will wrap up the SummerSlam review. As always, thanks for watching Robert Sports Show. Don't just have a great day. Have a spiffy day. Robert Sports Show, your YouTube leader in sports channel content. Make sure you check out the Ring of Honor Summer Supercard review, the NXT TakeOver Toronto 2 review, and in the coming weeks, Week 11 of the CFL, Week 1 of the NCAA college football season, Week 1 of the NFL season, all coming to Robert Sports Show over the next few weeks.